You water your lettuce, you protect it from pests, the leaves look healthy, and then suddenly, instead of tender greens, a tall, thick stalk shoots up from the center like a rocket. The leaves turn bitter, and weeks of effort feel wasted. This is called bolting. For gardeners growing lettuce and spinach, it is one of the most frustrating problems of the season. But it isn't random. Plants are reacting to stress and triggering a deeply ingrained survival instinct. Lettuce and spinach are cool season crops with a simple biological goal: grow leaves first, then produce flowers and seeds before harsh weather arrives. When temperatures rise too quickly or the plant feels stressed, it thinks danger is coming. It abandons leaf production and switches into survival mode to rapidly reproduce seeds before it dies. Bolting cannot be reversed once it begins. Therefore, effective management relies on neutralizing the specific environmental stressors that signal the plant to stop growing leaves. This 7-step framework targets those biological triggers, allowing you to maintain the vegetative phase and secure a significantly longer window for harvesting sweet, tender greens. Step 1 is timing. A common mistake home gardeners make is planting greens too late in the spring, forcing them to hit summer heat before they are fully established. Instead, sow seeds early in spring as soon as the soil is workable, or plant in the fall when gradually dropping temperatures create perfect growing conditions. This animated diagram tracks an increasing day length arc across a calendar. Spinach is highly sensitive to day length. Notice how, as the arc crosses the summer solstice threshold, the biological flower trigger activates. As days become longer in late spring and early summer, spinach receives an unavoidable, hardwired biological signal to reproduce. You can bypass this biological timer in Step 2 by selecting the right seed genetics. Not all lettuce and spinach varieties behave the same way. Purchasing specialized seeds engineered for heat resilience buys you extra weeks of harvest time. For lettuce, varieties like romaine and loose-leaf types perform better during warmer conditions than delicate butterheads. Look for the exact phrases slow bolt and heat tolerant on the seed packet. That small label dictates how well the plant handles heat. Aligning your planting dates with cool weather and selecting robust genetics eliminates half of all bolting risks before a single seed even touches the soil. Step 3 is temperature control through environmental engineering. You can protect your plants by mapping the microclimates in your garden. Position your greens in spots where they absorbed excellent morning sun but are completely shielded from harsh, intense afternoon heat. If natural shade isn't available, deploy a mechanical solution. Draping a lightweight shade cloth over the garden bed lowers the ambient temperature and reduces heat stress without completely blocking sunlight. Step 4 addresses moisture. Irregular watering creates immediate panic within the root system. If the soil swings rapidly from soaking wet to bone dry, the plant reacts as if it is under threat and prepares to reproduce. This side-by-side cross-section compares bare earth to mulched earth. On the left, the bare earth's temperature and moisture lines fluctuate wildly. On the right, applying a thick layer of organic mulch locks in moisture and keeps the root temperature as a stable, flat line. Healthy roots mean calmer plants. By insulating the roots and shading the canopy, you successfully engineer an artificial, prolonged spring environment. This delays the plant's survival instincts and keeps it focused on leaf production. The 5th step tackles spatial dynamics. It feels painful to pull healthy seedlings out of the ground, but overcrowding creates fierce, stressful competition for groundwater, essential soil nutrients, and overhead sunlight. Here is a densely packed, tangled cluster of seedlings next to a cleanly spaced, thriving row. Proper thinning eliminates localized heat traps. Giving your plants enough space prevents dangerous airflow restriction around the base, which cools the immediate environment. Step 6 is a risk mitigation strategy known as succession planting. Instead of planting all your seeds at once, sow small batches every 1 to 2 weeks. This graph illustrates overlapping waves of planting and harvesting dates. Even with perfect prevention, an older batch of lettuce will eventually bolt. But this staggered timeline creates an unbroken, continuous yield line. Younger plants are always coming up behind the older ones. Managing the physical space around your plants and staggering their growth over time actively eliminates the risk of a single, catastrophic harvest failure. Your supply never suddenly stops. The seventh and final step is the harvest itself. A common fatal error is waiting for a single massive harvest. Letting lettuce and spinach sit fully mature for too long signals to the plant that it is time to move into reproduction mode. Instead, use the cut and come again method. Carefully snap off only the mature outer leaves while deliberately leaving the central crown intact. This frequent harvesting acts as a physical hack. It forces the plant to redirect its energy back into generating new leaves rather than sending up flower stalks. While the plant will eventually reach its natural reproductive phase, consistent harvesting keeps the plant in a productive vegetative state far longer than an unmaintained crop. Early planting, root insulation, proper spacing, and frequent harvesting form a cumulative defense. Together, they actively remove the specific stress triggers responsible for early bolting. A bolted plant is clear communication. Your greens are simply telling you they need a cooler, less stressful environment with steady moisture. So before your next planting season, ask yourself, are you growing these crops for their biological needs or only for your schedule? Gardening gets significantly easier when we adapt to what the crops require, rather than forcing cool season plants to survive the heat of summer. If this framework helped you rethink your garden planning, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more practical, biologically driven growing tutorials. Shifting your approach from reactive to proactive allows you to anticipate these biological triggers before they occur. By managing the plant's environment more effectively, you can sustain your harvest through the season and significantly reduce the likelihood of a bolting disaster.